Hey, what's going on, Bitcoin billionaires? I am Patrick, your Bitcoin motorist, and today I want to talk a little bit about the title of the Satoshi white paper. Because the title of the white paper has been thrown around a lot, especially by people who think that the blocks need to be bigger. You got to make the blocks bigger. You know, the big blockers, so to speak, in the Bitcoin and crypto space. They've been harping on this, and they've been bringing up the name of the Bitcoin white paper every single time someone tries to tell them that maybe the blocks don't need to be bigger. Maybe they need to be left where they are, or maybe they're too big already. So the title of the Satoshi white paper is Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Okay, and you hear this thrown around. Oh, electronic cash, peer-to-peer electronic cash system, like this is a big checkmate argument. And I want to push back a little bit on this, and I think that people are kind of misunderstanding what the title says. First of all, I'm going to focus on the second part of the title first, the electronic cash part, because that seems to be the part of the title that everyone focuses on. Is Bitcoin cash? Is it cash? Is it gold? Is it a store of value, or is it a payment system? Okay, so electronic cash. So, I mean, sorry, but I did this. I looked up what the definition of the word cash is to see if Bitcoin qualifies. So here goes. So let's see, where's the definition of cash according to the internets? Cash, noun, 1. Money in coins or notes, as distinct from checks, money orders, or credit. Okay? So, and we're not using the verb, it's a verb to give or obtain notes or coins for a check or a money order. So we're not using it as a verb. In this case, we're using it as a noun. So cash, money in coins or notes as distinct from checks, money orders, or credit. So in this case, electronic cash means that it's an electronic version of cash, which means that it's not credit. So it's coins or notes distinct from checks, money orders, or credit. So that's all it's saying. It's not a credit system. It's not a check system. It's not a system where I give you a check and then the money gets transferred over later. That's all it means. So for some reason, people have used this word cash to mean things that you pay small amounts for. So I just want to say, if you hear someone saying that, well, Bitcoin's not really an electronic cash system anymore, it's more like a store of value, it's more like a digital gold, well, then you're talking to an idiot because they don't know what the meaning of the word cash is. It doesn't mean something that you make small payments. It doesn't mean quick payments. It just means transferring value from one place to another and doing it not as a credit or as a check. So it's just you're moving the cash over. It's irreversible. If it was a check, it wouldn't be irreversible. So a Bitcoin transaction is irreversible, meaning it's not a check and it's not a credit. It's not a loan. So now that we got the easy part out of the way, let's go to the part of the title of the Bitcoin white paper that most people just seem to gloss over, and they don't really pay attention to this first part. Everyone likes to harp on the electronic cash part of it, but let's focus on the first part of it, the peer-to-peer part of it. Okay, so is Bitcoin a peer-to-peer electronic cash system? Well, we already know it's an electronic cash system, but is it peer-to-peer? Okay, so let me make the point that Bitcoin is peer-to-peer, and it's a lot more peer-to-peer with a smaller block size or with a 1 megabyte or 2 megabyte block size than it would be with a bigger block size or an unlimited block size. And let me just focus on one part of this is some of you may be familiar with something called the New York Agreement. Okay, so the New York Agreement was an agreement that was made by some of the biggest companies in the Bitcoin space back on May 25th of 2017 or May 23rd. It was sometime in May of 2017. This was back when They were trying to, SegWit wasn't in Bitcoin yet, and there was all sorts of arguments and vitriol. This was the Bitcoin Civil War, the glory days, the Bitcoin wars of 2017. Okay, and while all this was going on, when everyone thought that Bitcoin was gonna destroy itself and fracture, a bunch of companies. Let me see here, how many companies? 58 companies located in 22 countries that consisted of 83.28%, so a supermajority of the hashing power of Bitcoin mining, and 5.1 billion with a B US dollars of on-chain transaction volume, and 20.5 million Bitcoin wallets, or I guess it's addresses or wallets. So these big companies, they all got together in New York and they signed an agreement that they wanted bigger blocks. Okay. So it doesn't sound very peer-to-peer to me. Now I know, I can already hear you guys screaming the argument that a peer could be a big company. A big company could be one of the peers, which is true. But I just want to go over here and just name some of these companies that were involved in this agreement. Bitcoin.com, BitClub, BitAngel.com, Bitfury, Bitmain, BitPay, BitPesa, Bitso, Blockchain, BTC.com, BTCC, Civic, Coinbase. These are all the biggest companies. F2 Pool is another one. Gavin Andreessen, although he's not really a company. Netkey, that's another one. Shapeshift. All these big companies, they all wanted bigger blocks. Why? Why did they want bigger blocks? They wanted bigger blocks because these are big centralized companies who thought that they could push their way around because they were the big companies. They had all the money, they had all the hashing power, and they wanted big blocks because they wanted to be able to easily transact in Bitcoin without having to find any ways to optimize their systems. They wanted to be able to easily transact in Bitcoin and kind of offload that responsibility to the nodes, so that the nodes had to store all this extra information in these transactions, all these extra blocks. And the nodes had to do this in perpetuity. So someone who isn't even born yet, who's going to be born, say 20 years in the future, and this person wants to run a node at some point, they would have to store all these transactions. Now, by not raising the block size, these companies had to learn ways to optimize themselves and not to kind of just offload the responsibility or outsource the responsibility of figuring out how to run their business profitably and figuring out how to optimize their system so they weren't putting all this spam and bloat on the blockchain. And now, but they didn't want to have to do that. They wanted to, but now they're kind of forced to kind of organize and optimize. So if you want to say that Bitcoin is no longer living up to its peer-to-peer electronic cash system, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. Okay, you are an idiot. You don't understand what peer-to-peer is. You don't understand the downsides of going to big blocks are. Okay. I run my own Bitcoin node. Now, you don't have to. You can use Bitcoin. You can be a Bitcoiner without running your own node. But I like running my own node. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it's fun that I can verify the transactions independently. And you can't run your own node on a lot of these altcoins. And a big business can run their own node too. They can independently verify. A small business can run their own node too. So peer-to-peer doesn't just mean individuals. Of course, it can mean businesses, small businesses, big businesses. Those are also peers. But everybody can run their own node, and they can all verify all the transactions, make sure that they're correct. You don't have to rely on a central network somewhere to do all that stuff for you, like they do in a lot of these altcoins. And I think that's what really, really sets Bitcoin apart from all these other altcoins. Is Bitcoin is still peer-to-peer. It's not centralized, and all these altcoins are centralized. But so let me actually expand on another point here. if all these big Bitcoin companies, if an 83% of the hashing power, if billions and billions of dollars worth of on-chain transactions, if they were all in favor of bigger blocks, how come we didn't get bigger blocks? If this was any other business, if this was any other industry, if all the biggest companies got together and they all agreed on something, you would have gotten it. In Bitcoin, all these companies got together and they all wanted bigger blocks, and we still didn't get them. Why is that? Think about that for a second. Where else in the world does that happen? Where all the powerful people, all the powerful companies come together and they make an agreement. They can't get it done. They didn't get it done because users, small users, people running nodes, people like myself, who are running a node from their 5-year-old laptop computer that that barely even works, but still works enough that they can run a node, were able to run a node from their home using their regular internet, cable modem connection, and we're able to put in a user-activated soft fork, or at least the threat of the user-activated soft fork, to prevent these companies from basically just getting their way, from just pushing through bigger blocks over everyone's objections. And I think that is awesome. And I think that 2017 was the year where Bitcoin really, really proved itself as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Okay? 2017 was the year where that happened. Once I saw this, because I was already a big believer in Bitcoin before 2017, but I always was afraid that everything else in life, whenever you think something is going good, always some big bad people come along and they take it over and they screw it up, and they do that with everything. And I thought the same thing was going to happen with Bitcoin, and it didn't. This is what makes Bitcoin different. In any other altcoin, in any altcoin, if all the biggest companies in that altcoin had gotten together and made an agreement, it would have been done. Not in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is unique. There isn't another thing out there like Bitcoin, and there isn't going to be another thing out there like Bitcoin. So whenever you hear someone say, well, Bitcoin's not electronic cash, or Bitcoin's not a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, just understand you're talking to an idiot. They don't understand what they're saying. They're just repeating something they heard from some other, big Bitcoin investor who thinks they're so important. And they're just repeating that, and they don't understand what they're actually saying. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there for you guys. And I really appreciate all the comments that I've gotten and all the feedback that I've gotten for my previous videos. So please, by all means, do the same. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, if you think I'm an idiot, if you think I've gotten something completely wrong, please let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share this video. The more people see it, the more this message can get out there. Leave a comment. Let me know if I'm right. Let me know if I'm wrong. Find me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. So I'm Bitcoin Motorist on Twitter. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye.